Thank you for tuning in to Wolf Road Community Television, the small TV station with a big heart. I'm Ryan, and this is Around the Town. Hi, I'm Ryan, and you're watching Tips for Healthy Living. What do couples and presidential candidates have in common? Uncomfortable debates. It's true. But unlike the candidates in elections, experts say you can both come away as winners if you follow a few simple couple debate rules. Yes, there's rules to fighting. Take turns. Family therapist Phillips says one reason many couples break down when they argue is because they constantly interrupt each other. Ever had this problem? So no one feels like they're fully made their point or that they were even heard. She says political candidates use a moderator to make sure everyone gets their way. This does not mean use your kid as a moderator. No, I'm saying you should, if you have your partner intend to interrupt each other, set a kitchen timer for 2 minutes and then take turns making your point. So then you both get hurt. Avoid these phrases. You're so emotional. You're being defensive. You're overreacting. Calm down. Relax. Stop freaking out. There is no sure way to escalate an argument than to minimize someone else's feelings. If you truly think they're overreacting, then you should stay calm. If you dismiss their complaint or rise to their level of emotions, you're perpetuating it. If you're calm, the other person will get calmer too. And if your partner says one of those things to you, take a breath and say, "This is important to me, please listen." Okay? Be satisfied with being happy, not being right or winning, because if you're right, that means your partner is wrong. If you win, that means they lose. But being wrong and losing aren't healthy for a relationship. This is supposed to be the person you love most in the world. You shouldn't want them to feel that way. Harriet Lenner wrote Marriage Rules, a manual for the married. She says your main goal is to make the relationship better, so instead of firing zingers back and forth, try one of these lines to end the fight and find compromise. Because that's the spice of life, compromise. That's what marriage is all about. I haven't thought of it that way before. I see how I may have contributed to the problem. It helps me when I can talk to you about this. I can see my part in this. Those are great ways to end an argument. Thanks for watching Tips for Healthy Living. I'll see you guys next time.
Okay, the first exercise is to strengthen your lower leg muscles in the front of your lower leg. It's called toe raises. And so you're going to sit up as tall as you can, keep your feet flat on the floor, and then lift your toes up in the air as far as you can. Okay, now we'll count out 10 repetitions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The next exercise is to strengthen your calf muscles, and it's called heel raises. So you're going to be sitting in your chair as straight as you can with your feet flat on the floor, and you're going to raise your heels up in the air as far as you can. So we'll begin a set of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. The next exercise is to strengthen your quadriceps or thigh muscles. And if you have some cuff weights that you can wrap around your ankle and you feel comfortable using these, you can use weights. If you don't have weights or it's too difficult to straighten your leg out with weights, then using no weights is fine as well. And so what you're going to do with this exercise is to sit up as straight as you can. You're going to start with your knees bent, and then you're going to straighten your right leg out so that your knee is as straight as it can go, and then bend your knee so that your foot is flat on the floor. Okay, so we'll begin a count of 10 on the right leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. And now we'll do a set of 10 on the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, the next exercise is to strengthen your hip flexor muscles, or the muscles in the front of your hip. And so, again, you're going to be sitting as straight as you can, feet flat on the floor, and you're going to raise your knee up in the air as high as you can. Now, if you need a little assistance from your hand to help raise up your leg, either if it's weak or a little uncomfortable, that's fine. So you could use your hand on the same side to assist your leg coming up in the air. So we'll begin with the right leg, and we'll start a count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, and now we'll do a set of 10 on the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This exercise is called hip abduction, and it's to strengthen the outer hip muscles. If you have a TheraBand, you can tie it around your thighs to give some resistance. If you don't have a TheraBand, that's fine, and you can do this exercise without resistance. And what you're going to do is to sit as straight as you can, feet flat on the floor and knees bent, and you're going to slide your right leg out to the side and then back in. Okay? So now we'll begin a count of 10 on the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we'll do a set of 10 on the left leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This exercise is to strengthen the upper back muscles. So what you want to do is start in a seated position as straight as you can. You're going to hold the TheraBand between your hands so there's a little bit of tautness to begin with in the band. And then bring your elbows back so that you're squeezing your shoulder blades together. And you want to feel the muscles between your shoulder blades working with this exercise. So we'll now count out 10 repetitions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Check out this new segment called Hollywood Makers. Shows you some video tips.
Hi, thanks for tuning in to Hollywood Makeover, the real information show for independent filmmakers young and old.
What are movies without exciting car chases, fabulous vehicles, and of course, the action that goes on inside and outside of the vehicle? Capturing these moments are essential to independent filmmakers. Today, we're talking with Mark Thompson. Mark is a video game program developer and has recently moved into stunt photography. And he's developed some ingenious ways on how to get those live action shots that you want and need for your independent film. Now this is a car.
Welcome.
Mark! Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for coming.
How are you?
Great.
So where do you want to take us first?
First, we're going to check out the Lotus Elise. And it makes a great hero car. It's a small car too, which makes it easier to frame.
All right, what about the inside? It looks a little small in there.
Well, that's a downside of a car like this. Like if you get inside, there's not a lot of space. And you can find that really constraining when you're actually trying to shoot video because you want to have some depth between you and the cameras. Otherwise, it feels all compact. And we should like get in and you can actually see what it's like.
This is really, I can see that there's not much space in here.
Yep, there's not much space. You can see we've got like a few inches between us and neither one of us is particularly big.
Right, because I'm tiny and I'm still like struggling here.
Right. If you had a big action star, Schwarzenegger, he's not getting in this.
That wouldn't work very well, now would it?
And so, and you also have to think about where you're going to put the camera and how close it's going to be to the people in the car.
So although the car may look good on the outside, essentially something this small is not going to be one we're going to want to position cameras and whatnot. It's not going to be for a two-person shot.
Right. You can certainly do it, but it's going to be a lot harder. The bigger the car, the easier you're going to have.
Well, I think we got a good look at the Lotus. I want to check out what's on the other side of the garage. This is the one I've been wanting to see all day. This is the Ariel Atom, which is like just an amazing car, right?
If you can get an Atom, I highly recommend it.
All right, but if you can't, then we can just marvel in what it is right now.
Sure.
All right.
It really caught its fame on YouTube. There was a video from Top Gear with a guy's face flapping around because most don't have a windshield, and so it's pretty cool. It's the quickest car, 0 to 60, 2.6 seconds.
That's
so
fast.
So yeah, faster than most motorcycles.
Wow. So in a movie, you know, we feel so connected when you can see the inner workings of things and how, and you can feel when it's on a big screen that you're going 170 miles an hour.
Right.
So where do we place those cameras, and where do our viewers place the cameras when they're wanting to capture the essence of that scene?
Well, the cool thing about the Atom is, since it is so exposed, it's really easy to see where you can put cameras.
Right.
But there's a couple general rules that are pretty good to follow.
Okay.
The first is, if you want the action to seem faster, the lower to the ground that you make the camera, the better.
Now, I see that this is a mount here.
Correct.
Now, what kind of camera are you using here?
Well, you can really use any kind of small action cam. I use the GoPro,
Okay.
which is it's an inexpensive and durable little camera.
Oh, yeah, look at this.
And when you don't want to be strapping like a $2,000 camera on the side of your car or a place where it might get hit by rocks, a $200 camera is a much better option.
All right, so these are $200. So, and I believe that you can do other shots than just car shots with this, correct?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
this is a good investment for independent
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, you literally could probably make a film on that if you really were motivated. I mean, people use iPhones, and so, I mean, this thing is actually, I think, better than
You
that.
know, and that's the great thing, is because we're really trying to help people get involved in independent filmmaking and make their investments lower, you know, if you don't have a full crew and a full set.
Yep.
So the GoPro will not only get you your action scenes, but you can really kind of just do a whole movie on this thing.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about, you know, damaging the camera.
This is not going to get ruined.
That's right, and really probably it's more for like if it's raining, you
Right.
could leave it on the car and it's fine.
So where would you mount this to get the best type of results for a high-speed chase, let's say?
There's a couple of rules when it comes to mounting cameras. Basically, the lower to the ground it is, the faster it's going to make the scene look.
Okay, so if we're mounting cameras, we want to do lower to the ground to make the scene faster. That totally makes sense.
Right. Another important thing to point out, a lot of times you'll see this kind of wobble or jello on video.
Yeah.
And the way that you can kind of get around that is by going with a faster frame rate as opposed to higher resolution.
So the faster frame rate and higher resolution is going to give us what again?
Higher resolution will create more wobble.
More wobble.
Faster frame rate will reduce the wobble.
Faster frame rate, reduce the wobble.
Yep.
So we got a little checklist going here, right, guys? I hope you're keeping up. What is this going to capture? Is this going to capture the wheel? I mean, you can kind of turn it, or?
Yeah, you can pivot it around and get it to capture what you want. Really, you want to secure it, and you want to get an idea of where you're looking.
Right.
You want to secure it, and you probably also want to put an additional little line on it,
Right.
so in case somehow it pops off of this, especially if you're using suction mounts,
Okay.
that it isn't going to fall on the ground and roll off. It'll actually dangle, and you can retrieve it.
So how about the mounts that we're going to use to make some of our high-speed chases? Where do we get those?
You can get them online, and actually there are forums for a lot of these action cameras where people tell you all kinds of cool tips on how to go down to Home Depot, pick up a couple, you know, pieces of PVC pipe and make your own mounts.
And really, you can use this to get like your interior shots right, because you can get kind of the driver, you can put it on the other side, you can put it on the front, you can put it underneath the car. I mean, these mounts are really diverse.
Well, the funny thing is the GoPro is actually really common in production, and if you watch a show like American Pickers, or if you watch a lot of reality shows like Survivor or Amazing Race, this is the camera that you see in there. So you're really using something that they use in Hollywood.
So why don't you say we get out of here?
Let's do it.
Take me for a ride?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do this.
Thanks, Rochelle. That information was really essential, especially to our budding filmmakers.
What's up in Wolfboro? Citizens of Wolfboro and New Durham. July 12th, the Wright Museum lecture series continues. It's going to be The Greatest War Stories Never Told. The lecture is by Rick Bayer, and he's also the author of that book, and that's at 7 p.m. at the Wright Museum. Also, July 14th, the Wolfboro Public Library is traveling to Thailand. Come explore their culture with us at 7 p.m. That's at the Public Library, Wolfboro. Check it out. They're always doing great stuff, and Thailand's awesome. This week's shout-outs is to Mr. Paul Zimmerman. Thank you so much, man, for letting us borrow your golf cart once again for the 4th of July parade. It was great, and we love decorating and driving it around town. I hope you guys all saw us there. We waved at a lot of people. And thank you so much for everyone in the crowd screaming, "We love Channel 25!" We also have Channel 24 or 26, just saying. But thank you very much for watching, and stay classy, Wolfboro. We'll see you next time. Jimmy Fallon, we'll see you. One of these days, I'll see you. Everyone else gets to see you. I tried to look. We looked. I didn't see you. Anyways, see you next time.